Come on in, come on in. Fam, it's time for this conversation, and I've been waiting to get to this conversation for quite some time. This conversation during this holiday season. Don't want to put you in a dilemma. We're chasing dollars versus cultivating trust. So this is the moment where I invite you to come join me, get comfortable. And those who've been with us for a while will tell you, grab your favorite beverage, have a seat on the couch, and lean in. We have digital pastors. These are people who take notes, who are concierges. They're going to post relevant information, facts, points, whatever, all to make your digital experience wonderful, your digital experience transformative. So when you see me do this, that means lean in. It means I have something that I believe God gave me that is true, that is special. And my man always encourages me, yep, I'm going to put it where the goats can get it. I'm going to have you airtight this holiday season. I want you to tag someone who's stressing already, have this pressure to meet deadlines, to do things that would put them further behind. So we're going to have this conversation about that dilemma. Trusting God during this holiday season. Everyone knows a family. We'll just call them, for lack of better terms, and this is aimed at no one. Let's call them the Johnson family. The Johnson family. They have this predicament. On one side, there's mounting debt, a tight budget, and then on that side also, there's struggling to make ends meet. And then on the other side, they have children and loved ones who have an expectation that gifts are coming because of the pressure. Black Friday, Cyber Monday. All of this pressure that's mounting on one side, the tightness on the other side, the expectation, spending money they may not have, because it's predicted this year, you all, even in the midst of where we are, that the average person is going to spend $875 this Christmas on gifts. Now think about it. Struggling to make ends meet, coupled with expectations. I want to make sure my family has a great Christmas, but it is tight. We want to talk about that. Because instead of chasing, and I talked about this last week, temporary happiness through costly presents, today it's about challenging the way we think. Today is about rediscovering values that matter most. Today is about perhaps building meaningful traditions that help mitigate the pressure of living on a tight budget, balanced with the expectations of having a very Merry Christmas. Now, I'm going going to challenge you today. I'm going to challenge you to ponder 3 questions that's going to help you balance this dilemma from living on a tight budget with the expectation of having a very Merry Christmas. Because if the average person is slated to spend $875 that can go towards lifting the burden of this tightness, and how do we balance the expectations that are placed upon us? Y'all quiet in the comments section, but that's all right. That's let me know that I might be on my own. And so, with the questions that we propose, I want you to get in a quiet place, settle your soul, and really consider, how do I balance what is expected of me versus what is expected from me? I just said something right there. Nobody praising God. Balancing the expectation of what's expected of me with what's expected from me. So with that stated, you all, I want you to have a Merry Christmas. These are the moments where we take control, because this family chose wisdom to center them during this holiday season. Y'all ready to have this conversation? Because I'm going to walk through it in my prayers that it blesses you indeed. Question number 1. Whenever you get out there, and I know you're going to get out there at some point, before you buy anything, do anything, I want you to ask yourselves, are we racing towards riches, or are we walking in wisdom? Proverbs chapter 22, verse number 7 helps us out. And this verse warns us about the trap of debt and how the borrower becomes servant to the lender. I want you to think about this. Now, we live in a world where success is often measured in dollars, and it's easy to fall into the trap of looking rich, looking wealthy, as opposed to actually being wealthy. I want you to think about this. Before you buy anything, and this is a freebie, I'm not going to even charge you for that this holiday season, because you have an expectation from you, expectation of you. And that pressure is like a vice. So before you buy anything, ask yourself this question: will it make me richer? Will it make me smarter? Will it bring me closer to my hopes and my dreams? Because I want to help you out. I want to see, are you walking towards riches or walking in wisdom? Are y'all hearing me on this today? Now think about it. Think about it. As believers, we have a temptation, and all people have a temptation, to spend money that we don't have. These commercials, these advertisements, man, these text messages, these emails, these coupons are coming in, luring us into a cycle of debt by raising our level of discontentment. They get you to think differently, you all, about what you already have in your house. They get you to think different, that what you have is old, that what you have is outdated, what you have is no longer valuable, and what you have is no longer feasible, raising that level of discontent. Just as the rich rule over the poor, so the borrower is servant to the lender. See, our choices should reflect our trust in God, not the pressure of consumerism. You got to ask yourself, am I reaching towards riches or am I walking in wisdom? Living within our means. It's more than just sound financial advice. It's a spiritual discipline that I'm good with what I have, because if it doesn't make me richer, smarter, or bring me closer to my goals and my dreams, I'm deleting the text message. I'm deleting the email. I'm content and I'm cool with what I have right now, because God's been good to me. Yes, I have the pressure of what's expected of me and the pressure of what's expected from me, but nevertheless, I'm walking in wisdom. Because if it doesn't make me richer, smarter, or bring me closer to my hopes and dreams, I'm gonna chill. So this week, here's what I want you to do. You need an action step? Here's your action step. Check this out. I want you to reflect. I want you to really reflect. Okay, why did I really get this? I want you to reflect. Are my spending habits in line with my faith and my financial goals? Are we racing towards riches, or are we walking in wisdom? Once again, Proverbs chapter 22, verse 7, just as the rich rule over the poor, so the borrower is servant to the lender. For you pull out that debit card, credit card, or lay out some hard-earned cash. Here's the second question that I'd like for you to ponder. Is our spending leading towards freedom, leading to freedom, or forging chains? Teach this, Clarence Edward. Man, I got to encourage myself today. Is our spending leading to freedom or forging chains? I'm going to explain it in a minute. Now, Proverbs again tells us or warns us about the trap of debt, that the borrower becomes servant to the lender. See, debt. Digital pastors, drop this in the comments. Debt often brings stress, it brings worry, and it overshadows our faith and clouds our freedom. Good Lord, Junior, you teaching this. And the pressure to keep up with the Joneses or the Johnsons or whomever you want to take, the pressure can lead into financial commitments that enslave us rather than empower us. See, God's desire is for us to live in freedom and not in bondage. Good Lord, Clarence Edward, you teaching this better. And they're responding. Debt brings stress. Worry overshadows our faith and clouds our freedom. So here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to look it over. I want you to really consider it. I want you to really think about it, because the pressure of what's expected from you is going to grow. Because people are going to post on social media things that they're buying, but you're wiser. They're going to post the things that the grandchildren and the children and all of the above have, and the pressure. But you are wise enough to say, if I buy this, will it give me freedom? Or will it forge chains? Will it put me in bondage? Because January rolls around, and bills come due, and we let the pressure of what's expected from us cause us to cave in. And here we are in a place where we never thought that we would be. So I'm not saying don't spend anything for Christmas. All I'm saying is you ain't have to spend everything. You can identify at least, okay, I'm just going to hold back one less gift. I'm going to reduce my spending by just one less gift. And I'm going to think about doing something that can replace that. Matter of fact, forge a new tradition. I know we ain't going to get away from this totally, but I don't want it to totally destroy you. Are y'all hearing me today? The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. That's right, Betty. We have to be wise. That's right, Denise. I'm doing the best that I can. Are y'all ready? All right. So how do we walk in wisdom? How do we balance the pressure of what's expected from me with what's expected of me? So now I'm going to give you an opportunity to walk in freedom. Are y'all ready for this? Philippians chapter 4, verse 12 says, I know how to live on almost nothing or with everything. I have learned the secret of living in every situation, whether with a full stomach or empty, with plenty or with little. I want to help you walk in wisdom. Are y'all ready? Drop that in the comment section. Walking in wisdom. I'm going to land this plane. Y'all ready? Here it is. Don't want you to miss this. Walking in wisdom asks the question, am I spending with a plan or praying after we've paid? Junior, you're a good teacher. Are we spending with a plan, or are we praying after we've paid? Financial wisdom is not just about saving money. It's about aligning our spending with God's plans. Are we spending with the plan, or are we paying after we've paid? Good Lord, Junior, you teaching this better than they respond. And think about this for a moment. See, practicing patience and discipline in our finances can be characterized as an act of faith. Living within our means demonstrates trust in God's provision and God's timing. So therefore, making wise financial decisions can lead to peace of mind and spiritual growth. My spending with a plan. I gave you the plan. Does this make me richer? Does this make me smarter? Does this get me closer to my hopes and my dreams? If not, I've got to walk in wisdom, because my plan is, if it's not doing any of the aforementioned, then I don't need to pray after I pay. You know how it is. I deserve this. That's a statement that can get us in trouble. I worked hard for this. I'm not saying that you just live in a cocoon and you don't do anything. I'm saying, are we spending with a plan, or are we praying after we've paid? Lord, get me out of this. God says, I didn't tell you to go into it. You let the pressure and the expectations of you put you in a position now you got to pray for God to bail you out. Now you have to borrow from those who are fiscally responsible. Takes a lot of courage to stand up and say no. It takes a lot of courage to say, no, I can't do this right now. It takes a lot of courage to stand on your principles, because you know a rainy day is coming. And since a rainy day is coming, I hate for it to rain and I don't have an umbrella. Are we spending with a plan? Or are we praying after we've paid? So now that we've pondered these questions, it's time to land the plane. It's time for us to put it where the goats can get it. Are y'all hearing me on this? So as I conclude and as I close, I want you to ask yourself this question. This season, are we trusting in our wallets, or are we trusting in His wisdom? Digital pastors, I want you to help me out, because I know this is going to help us today. Think about this. Our financial habits reflect our faith and priorities. Nobody took notes right there. I'm going to say it once again. Our financial habits reflect our faith and our priorities. That's why Paul says in Philippians 4 verse 12, I've learned to be content, which means the automatic default position is not contentment. No. It's to consume, to acquire, to possess. And as we practice financial wisdom and stewardship, we find freedom from the love of money and trust more deeply in God's provision. Are y'all hearing me on this? Hey, remember, it's not about how much we have, but it's how wisely we use what we have been given. So I want to challenge you as I land this plane. I want you to commit this week. Commit to a decision, a financial decision that reflects that you trust in God. That you're trusting in His provision, whether it's giving generously, saving prudently, or spending wisely. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 17, and I conclude. It says, teach those who are rich in this world not to be proud and not to trust in their money, just so unreliable. Their trust should be in God, who richly gives us all we need for our enjoyment. Goes on to say in verse 18, 19, tell them to use their money to do good. They should be rich in good works, generous to those in need, always being ready to share with others. So let's reflect on the profound lesson that we can learn today during this Christmas season. That despite the challenges, the expectations of me versus the expectations from me, despite all of that, discover true joy in the simple. Build some new traditions. Understand that God's been good to me and that I'm good. I'm learning to be good. I'm learning to be content. And when you look at that, man, give it 24 hours, especially if it costs a good deal of money. And in those 24 hours, how will this make me richer? How will this make me better? How will this get me closer to my hopes and dreams? And then that Christmas, instead of being a day or a season of frustration, it becomes a season of joy. So you're going to examine your spending habits. See, are they aligned with my values and my goals? Commit to making choices that reflect wisdom and contentment. And then that's when Christmas becomes Merry Christmas. Remember, it's not always about chasing the dollars, but cultivating trust and commitment. So this Christmas, we celebrate with confidence. This Christmas, joy becomes the default position. This Christmas, I balance what's expected from me with what's expected of me because I'm walking in wisdom. This Christmas, I pray that there's unity in your homes this Christmas. I pray that joy overflows this Christmas. I pray that God brings back the center of your joy this Christmas. I pray that you are released from the expectations that you have of you and the expectations that others have of you. That you can begin to live harmoniously, that you can begin to have a smile on your face, that you have joy in your heart, that you have a skip in your step, all because this moment you made a decision. So I decree and declare it's going to be the best Christmas season. All because when you know better, you'll do better. So I want you to drop it in the comments section and I'm done. This Christmas will be the best Christmas.